Welcome back, Day Drinking with Dog. It is the last day of August, the 31st. Summer is officially over after this weekend, I guess. Not officially, but unofficially official. Summer was okay, I guess. A lot of weird, wacky weather this summer, but, we made it through. Got one busy weekend left. Labor Day weekend at Stonebridge. We'll stay steady with the Sacred Heart kids till the weather chimes down a little bit, but I had another cancellation this week. Shocker. Story of the summer, but I think I'm pretty well lined up for the next couple months. And the person that canceled will be on at the end of the month. He did actually have a legit emergency at his restaurant and couldn't make it. So no big deal. The show must go on, as they say. I want to talk about Ann Wayne real quick. Ann passed away on Oyster Fest, actually. Ann and her husband Jimmy, who passed about 2 years ago, were one of the first two people I met starting my 23 plus year career at Stonebridge, and known them from ever. And they're the kind of regulars and customers that become family. And losing Jimmy was really hard, and now we lose Wayne, Ann Wayne, and we called her Zelda, and Sissy by her family. And I just want to tell one quick little story about Ann to show you how caring she was. And I just bought my first home back in 2010-ish, 2010. And I'm at the bar, and it's the end of the summer. And they have this golf tournament every year that Jimmy ran. At the time, it was the Kiwanis Golf Tournament. And I played in it pretty much every year since I've met them. And she was generally excited about, me getting a house, and was, excited for me, and, first time home buyer. And I remember she said to me one day, about 10 days before the tournament, and she said, "What do you need? What do you need?" And I said, What do you mean, what do I need? What do you need for the house? I said, "Oh, God, the list is endless, but I mean, where are you going with this?" She goes, "No, what do you need?" I said, "I definitely need a leaf blower, because, the fall's coming. I had a shitload of trees in the yard." And she goes, "All right, well, I'm going shopping for the raffle prizes for the Kiwanis tournament. I'll pick up a leaf blower." And I look at her and I said, I still gotta win it, And she just looks back at me and she winks and she says, "Don't worry, I'll pull the right ticket." And that was that. I went home with the leaf blower. And I don't want to say like it's any big deal, because I don't think it is. Everyone wins shit at those things. It wasn't like it was a $10,000 prize or anything. It was probably a $80 leaf blower. But that was her to me in a nutshell. I didn't grow up knowing her or anything, but I knew her for over 20 years, and we had some great Thanksgivings at Stonebridge. And once I got out of work, we'd smoke cigars soaked in Sambuca or Grand Marnier, and all the memories of her and Jimmy over the years. And I'm glad they're together again. At one point, if you think about death, it sucks, but she's back with Jimmy, and they're probably having a captain and a doers up in heaven, and we will see you again, Ann. So I had the other cancellation. So I had a cancellation. So Ann's wake was Monday, funeral was Tuesday, and I had a really busy Tuesday lined up. I had this doctor's appointment. The healthcare system sucks, as everyone knows, but I had a doctor's appointment that literally I'm getting it's called an EMG. It's a test on my arm or my wrist for like carpal tunnel and a lot of other things. They rule stuff out like ALS and stuff, but I've been really struggling with my arms this summer. You may not be able to tell it if you come in and see me, but by the end of the night, I can't even lift my right arm. And, I work back to back to back. And it's been a struggle all summer. So trying to get to the bottom of it and trying to get better. And I had this appointment for over 2 months, and they canceled on me. I'm literally at the church for the funeral, and they were calling me like 3 times in a row. And of course, I knew once they called back twice, I knew it was canceled. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm rushing around. The good news is I was able to go to the cemetery. I was able to go to Stonebridge after and kind of hang with everybody. But then I had my podcast scheduled, and then that guy calls me and he cancels. I'm just like, it's just a day of cancellations. Yeah, so hopefully I can get that arm stuff rescheduled. They still haven't called me back yet, but you know, par for the course with these fucking people. But I do have some big news that will be announced on next week's show. It'll be I believe my third annual football preview. I'm not going to go too deep into football. I think we're just going to have some fun with some betting props and stuff like that. With Angelo and Pasta, Mike Dorn, two veterans of the show. And I'm going to be announcing my sponsorship. I have a sponsor now. I'm very excited about it. I will be announcing all of that next week. You'll see some teases probably on Instagram and stuff of who it is. And most of you might already even know. I've been kind of teasing it a little bit in the last few shows. But I'm very excited to announce it and to get it rolling and the football season to start. And football. So, you know, this is the time of year. We all love football. But like these 2 weeks before football starts are like, for me personally, are some of the most annoying football weeks of the year because everyone has to tell me who they drafted on their 17 fucking fantasy football teams and who got stolen in front of them, how many of their 17 teams they have Patrick Mahomes on. I just don't fucking care. I don't. I mean, I sit there and I nod. Oh, yeah. And I've probably been guilty of this in the past, but everyone, I have, I think, 6 teams. I actually texted my buddy yesterday only because my whole bench is Patriots players. But other than that, I don't care how you got your team. I just, sorry. I just don't give a fuck. And that's that. So for all my friends listening, I know you're probably going to fuck with me this weekend and be like fucking talking about it all the time, but I'm just going to go in one ear and out the other. And, but I guess we are all guilty of it. You know, you draft a team. I had my first draft last night and I got 2 on Monday and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it just becomes too much. I gotta tone it down, I think, to maybe 2 or 3 teams a year. And I usually end up drafting all the same fucking players anyway. You know, once you get past the first couple of rounds. But yeah, so I don't need to hear about it. But good luck to everybody that's doing it. So there you have it there. What else we got? Oh, Rob O'Neill got arrested. So Rob was actually on my show about a year ago for a quick 15 minutes. So he called in. Rob O'Neill is the alleged Navy SEAL that killed Bin Laden, that put the bullet in his head. And I read the other day that he got arrested in, I don't know, Idaho or Montana, wherever he's from, and in a bar fight or something, and made the news. And what it dug up was something that I kind of remembered, but I didn't really think about it when I had him on the show. I think I was too excited to actually have him on my show. But another one of those SEAL Team 6 members disputes the fact that he's the one that killed Bin Laden. Actually claims that he wasn't. But then as you read deeper into everything, my personal feeling is he is probably the one that killed him. But what he did do was kind of break that code of profiting off of, you know, their sworn oath not to talk about any of this stuff. So what Rob did was basically came out and made a PR tour out of it, wrote a book, and created a life outside of the military. With his actions in that situation. And me personally, I have nothing wrong with it. I don't think anything wrong with it. Especially in this day and age where the government basically shits on you after you get out of the military. He was one of the first that said, hey, there's a movie made about it. Let me do a book about it. Let me be the guy that, comes forward and says, I'm the one that killed him. And God bless him. I don't know his personal life and how this all is going to end up with this current case. I'm sure it was just a stupid drunken bar fight, but you obviously put yourself in these situations and you want fame and money, then people are going to come after you. And he probably got goaded into fighting this guy and probably beat the shit out of him. And whatever. But yeah, so well, I'll be following that in the upcoming months to see how that goes for him. He was a very gracious guest, was very nice. Basically asked or answered every question I asked him, so I was happy with that. Obviously, last week or 2 weeks ago, almost now, was the Oyster Fest. Went really well. Weather was pristine, 78 and sunny. Nothing really to report. I mean, it was just kind of a crazy, busy night. Nothing got out of whack. Got up the next morning and took the fam up to Lake Winnipesaukee for 4 days. If you've never been to Lake Winnipesaukee, you got to go check it out. It is kind of a sleepy vacation town, which I appreciate, very relaxing. Big lake, lots of things to do, like boating, and they have big cruise ships that go out with dinners. We did the Tiki Hut one, where it's basically the Tiki Hut bar. It's BYOB, but you go out there we were out there for an hour and 45 minutes. Kind of a half tour, half relaxing, probably pounded 4 or 5 Vivas there. And, if anyone ever goes up to Winnipesaukee, I've been up there when I was a kid, and I've been up there twice in the last 4 years. I got some good spots for you. And I'm actually thinking about doing, I want to be on the water next year, a nice big Airbnb. So if anyone would like to join in on that sometime in August next year, preferably right after the Oyster Fest, maybe get a nice house in the water that has a dock, and we can rent a fucking, a boat or something. And if you have a boater's license, that'd help too, I guess. But let me know. I'm looking forward to that again. But of course, I got Florida coming up in a couple months. So, all right, I'm just babbling on. I'm going to talk about this one last time, I think, because with sponsorships, I think I probably have to tone down some of my, let's call it rhetoric. But if you know me, I follow trans athletes in sports. And so Riley Gaines had tweeted yesterday about some congresswoman that was asked about, define a woman. And this has kind of been going on for a while. The liberals are just basically they sidestep the issue of defining a woman, and then the conservatives are basically obviously, like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina, is kind of that take on it. So she posted a tweet, and good old Keith Olbermann decides to respond to it. Now, Keith Olbermann, if you know, was back basically good old Dan Patrick, alumni of the show as well. His counterpart on Sunday night Sports Center for years, back when I was, college, out of college, my young 20s, 30s, until they went their separate ways, and Keith Olbermann went to MSNBC, got fired, went back to ESPN, got fired, just then started his own anti-Trump podcast website, just kind of went off the rails, and he's been off the rails for a while, and I don't think he gets paid too much mind at this point anymore. He's just so far left, it's just you can't even take him seriously. But he comments on Riley Gaines, who's the swimmer from Kentucky, who basically competed against Leah Thomas. They actually finished both tied for 5th in the championships a couple of years ago, or last year. And they gave the 5th place trophy to Leah Thomas because they didn't have 2 5th place trophies, so they gave Riley Gaines the 6th place trophy. Obviously it's for media purposes and promoting trans in sports, wherever their MO was behind that. Well, she does this tweet, and then Keith Olbermann replies with, can you just address the reality and move past it? ? You sucked at swimming. That's why you lost. One, she didn't suck at swimming. She was 5th nationally in the nationals. She's won plenty of events. She's worked at her whole life, and for you to demean her and say she sucks at swimming, that's the dumbest comment you can put out there. And that's how far left some of these liberals go about this issue. And to me, it's so commonsensical that it just you're a man playing a woman's sport. Why is this even a thing? Make trans sports a category in the Olympics. Just have them fucking go out and race each other. I don't know. And Keith Olbermann's just trying to stay relevant, I believe, at this point. But I don't know. I think I'm going to end it on that, as far as this topic's concerned. I don't want to get into too hot water with sponsorship starting next week. So that's it. Just keep trans out of sports or have their own category. I don't know. Whatever. I did a trivia night last night, and I realized that pop music I suck at. I think I got one right out of 15 questions, only because I wrote Taylor Swift down every time, and I think she was one of the winners. I don't know. That's a little side note. Yevgeny Prigozhin might still be alive. He's the Russian mercenary that they said was shot down on an airplane last week, but then he came out with a video today. They're not sure when it was dated, but it was sometime in late August. So he could still be alive, which wouldn't surprise me. Typical Russian propaganda media trying to cover up the fact that, or make up that he died, or cover up the fact that he's still alive, one or the other. Putin's behind it. He's a fucking crazy man. And I'm going to wrap up on this. So I've had some conversations online about the masks coming back, the TSA agent that is a whistleblower about a virus coming out of Canada, whether it's a new strain of COVID or whether it's a brand new virus that isn't even COVID related. And there's rumors that everything's going to shut down again. Masks will be back by October, shut down by December. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people, like far right people, are jumping all over this. I'm a little bit of a middleist on this. One, I think, all right, masks, okay, come on. You told us to trust the science. The science is proven. They don't fucking work. So don't be doing this bullshit with masks again. But I feel if they shut us down again, that's it. Civil war. It's over. I think even some of the lefts will rise up against these draconian measures that they're trying to pull out just 3 years after we realized they were useless. I don't know what else to say about it. The fact that what it reminds me of was, early 2020 all over again, where you kind of heard like a little inkling, and then that grew. It's like a little seedling, and then it grew into a little tiny sprout out of the ground. And then they're talking, and then you're watching SportsCenter, and they shut down a game, or they canceled a flight, or, maybe we should wear masks in the grocery store, and it just blossomed into this big fucking oak tree. And the whole world shut down, the whole fucking world. And I feel like here we are, history repeating itself just 3 years later. We're just hearing the whispers now. I don't know where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But I worry. I do. I worry all this bullshit's coming back again. And I hope the world, not just America, I hope the world stands up to these government, because they failed. They failed in their mission to control us all the first time. So, and they don't seem to have any repercussions against them. You can't sue them. They're in bed with the pharmaceutical industry. They want us to comply. They want us to stand down. They want us to wear the masks, stay home, take their government money. It's fucking sad. And if it comes back again, I don't know. I mean, what am I really going to do? I'll podcast about it, I guess. I got no skin in the game as far as what can I accomplish. But local government starts in the grassroots, starts in local government, and we need to change, not just in the United States, but in the world governments. And it's a tall task. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to do it, but, stand up, be vigilant. And that's all I got. A quick 20-minute pod for you boys and girls out there. Next week's the football one, the announcement of my sponsorship, and hopefully I have no cancellations for the rest of the year. Kind of a crazy summer on that front. If anyone ever wants to come on the show, please feel free to reach out to me. Please follow me on Instagram at DDWD Bottom Score Podcast. Follow my YouTube channel now. Just type in Day Drinking with Dog. All my shows will be on there as well. Starting to gain a little steam on that. And my website, daydrinkingwithdog.com. Go check it out. There's a little bit of merch on there. I'm still working on it. now that summer's winding down with work, I'll have some more free time to ramp that up a little bit. And you can also listen to all my episodes through there. And all my social links are on that website as well. Thanks for listening to me babble for 20 minutes, guys. Back to guests next week, so you don't have to listen to my fucking fat ass talking for 20 minutes by myself. But I do like doing these. Anyway, Day Drink with Dog, daydrinkWithDog.com. Thanks again, guys. I'll talk to you next week.